Slightly more serious topic in high school sports, which are coping with the state's recent budget cuts on education. I caught up with UIL Director Charles Breithaupt this week to better explain the current situation.
State of the Union at the UIL is busy. Greatest time of year for us. We have so many activities that begin in January: golf, tennis, baseball, softball, swimming and diving state championships coming up at the latter part of February, and our state basketball championships first 2 weekends in March. So our staff is busy as beavers and a lot going on all across the state. Coaches and directors involved every night.
A lot of exciting news, but at the same time there has to be some challenges that you expect to face in the next year. What would those be?
I think financing, of course, that's the story everywhere. Our school districts are being asked to cut back. Many of them are really strapped for cash and not able to do things with their tax revenue. But many of our schools have indicated they want to continue the same program, and they may cut back on some of their games. They may change some ways that they travel. But everyone looking to cut their budgets and try to be as frugal as possible, and we're trying to help them with that.
Obviously, that's such a big issue right now. What is your reaction? How do you respond to extracurriculars possibly taking a hit?
Well, I think that all of us can expect to take some kind of hit in this economy, and we're not surprised by that. Our schools have been planning for it. And what we have to do is talk about the positives that athletics brings. When you start talking about the issues of finances, you have to remember that athletics is one of the few entities in public education that does bring back some income. Booster clubs help offset some of the costs. So automatically, if you think about cutting programs, that's not always the answer, because the motivation of students oftentimes to come to school is their extracurricular participation. So we want to capitalize on it. We want kids coming to school. We want the ADA to be higher, and research proves that athletics helps to do those positive things that enhances the educational opportunities for students.
Do people lean on you as a lobbyist to extracurriculars during this time? You know, are you answering calls from parents that think that the education should come first?
The UIL staff is always asked to give supporting document for school boards, even for the legislature, about why we do what we do. Why should the schools pay for extracurricular activities? And our school administrators understand, and school boards understand, the importance of these activities to students. So you could go into the values of extracurricular participation, whether it be band, academics, or athletics. But at the end of the day, what brings students to school? And it's not always the core subjects. We know that that comes first. It does, and we've done a good job of supporting our legislature and TEA in making sure students are passing their subjects. So we're all in this together, and we have to continue to work together to solve these problems.
Conversely to the possible budget cuts, you've got exposure to the high school athletes and extracurriculars maybe higher than ever before. I know us as a local television station pick up live football games, live basketball games. What do you see as the positive trend in the exposure some of our athletes are getting?
I think for a big part, we had to get over the notion that these are our games. People are taking advantage of our games. But to know that every kid wants to be on TV in some form or fashion. Every coach wants their team to be on TV. Parents want to watch their children on TV. And maybe they are at the game, but they're going to DVR it and come back and see it again later and show it to their relatives. So I think it's an important aspect of what we do. We try to reach out and do more webcasting and trying to bring more opportunities for students to be exposed through the media and be able to have the opportunity to be showcased. And I think it's a big part of what we do.
Now you've got the Longhorn Network. They just signed a deal with ESPN last week. UT did. UIL kind of falls under the UT umbrella. What, if any, role will you guys expect to have in high school coverage for the Longhorn Network?
Well, that's yet to be determined. Certainly we are part of the UT family. We've had some preliminary discussions with UT about this. ESPN has long covered UIL games, and we've had Thursday night games and Saturday night games, high school football games that have been televised by ESPN and other entities. So we're sure that will continue, and we'll be happy to discuss with them any more particulars. We have a current deal in place, but there are all kinds of opportunities, and we have plenty of programming from softball to baseball to volleyball, swimming and diving, track and field. We have it. If you want it, you want some programming, we have it for you.
The football season obviously wrapped up in a big way this year. You had the state championships for the first time kind of centered around one market, and you had the big schools in Cowboys Stadium where the Super Bowl is about to be played. What kind of a reaction did you get from that?
this is probably one of the most exceptional things that we've done. It has been one of those things that has been universally approved. When you think about the fact that we had almost 100% improvement on attendance from last year, we had 76,000 paid attendance in '09. This year we were over 130,000 paid attendance. So when you think in terms of the number of people who had the opportunity to watch the games because they were at a predetermined site, not all of them were in one stadium, but the fact that the magnet of Cowboy Stadium was part of it, I think that the interest in being able to come into that stadium and watch a team play, and as a schoolboy football player to be able to play in that stadium, pretty exciting stuff. So we were very pleased with this first year, and I think it's going to be a great benefit to our schools when they get the financial report, because they did very well. Remember, this money belongs to the schools, and they will share it equally within each game. So we're proud of the work that our championship committee did and our staff of putting this together and all the work that was done to make it happen. It was a historic occasion and one that we're very pleased with.
And next up for high schools is the state swim meet February 18th and 19th at UT. The drug testing program could be one the UI looks at reducing or cutting for next year.